Hello, everybody awake?
Yep.
Thank you. Now the coffee or the tea is speaking now. I hope you're still looking at your scorecard once in a while and grade after your sessions. Is everybody enjoying it up to now? Have you learning something?
Yes.
I'm learning a lot, I can tell you that. Okay, now we're going to go to our next session. As life is an experiment, scientific experiment, unique experiment. How many people think life is an experiment or an experience? I mean, we had, okay, so, what does that mean, experience? Are we really experiencing what's happening or not happening? So, we can talk about it this afternoon, but right now, I will request Dr. Mehta to lead us into why life is a unique experience, experiment. And Dr. Mehta, I'm always confused, the experiment, the knower, the doer, result. So please, lead us into that.
So again, we meet after a short break, and human life, a unique life experiment. What do I mean by an experiment? As soon as we say an experiment, conventionally it comes to our mind that only the things which are going in the laboratory is an experiment. But if I extrapolate that, expound onto that, wherever there is observer and observe things and observation, and there is a definite set pattern. So here also there is an experimenter and an experiment. What constitutes an experiment here? My mind, speech, body, whatever is going on within me every moment. So inner circumstances and outer circumstances along with the natural regulatory system is the one which is a part of experiment. And living as I am, in whatever capacity, I am doctor, I am Shailesh, whatever plane I am is living, that is an experimenter. And no sooner I change the vision. So what is important in an experiment? Suppose I am asked to do some experiment of chemistry. No matter what struggle I put in, I may not succeed because I don't have the correct knowledge. But if I am asked to do something of my ophthalmic branch, I'll be able to do it. So fundamental is the darkness of ignorance versus light of knowledge. If this room is dark without any light, and if I am told to go out, I'll have n number of stumblings. There is only, this is causing problem here. As the cause or as the regulatory system, who has created the world, who governs my inner and outer world? Only simple answer is scientific circumstantial evidences. Will expound onto that later on. Concept of Pratisthit Atman, belief soul or migratory soul, and pure soul self, both being totally different. This would interest those who are really deep into the study through various scriptures or various ways and means. Holistic science of nature and human living has been brought out, and a very good aphorism, the world is the puzzle itself. How many of you feel that the world inside and outside is a sort of puzzle? And there are so many unanswered questions, and there are two viewpoints to solve this puzzle, one relative, the other real. The Vedas say Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, but is really the world illusionary? No. World is relative correct and pure self is real correct, and both have to go parallel, hand in hand, for me to have an overall balanced living. So now, having said that, let me come to our daily living, because I believe that whatever translates into results, whatever translates into my daily happy harmonious living is really the knowledge for me. And we start with a simple thing like happiness. If everybody of us is asked, what are you looking for in the life? What is your answer in one word? Happiness? Right? Simple answer. Now, from where it comes? We are all thriving, struggling, doing everything throughout life for this simple thing. Have we achieved that? Have we researched that? Is it in abundance? Somebody said it's an inside job. If it would have been in abundance, at least all of you at USA should be freely smiling and happy. And even if somebody takes your photograph without telling you, it should be showing lovely faces. But I don't see that. Even when you are asked, or even everybody is asked 3 times smile, doesn't come. 2nd time, please smile, doesn't come. And 3rd time, it may come hardly. Now, what's the science? Suppose any one of us decides that, okay, I'll help somebody. Even before really going out and helping somebody, do we start feeling happy within our heart? Do we have the fulfillment? Try to go to a big event. Suppose our grandson or a granddaughter's birthday is coming after 15 days, and we just decide that we'll call a few children and give a small party. Even before really we go out, invite anybody, spend $1, do we start feeling happy? So the secret here is, whatever actions of my mind, body, speech, which are going to make others happy, will make me happy first. Do you believe that? Or no? Yes or no? Observe within. And unhappiness. Suppose I am receiving a phone call from India that when you were at USA tour, your staff was playing all the indiscipline and nonsense and they were not attending the clinic regularly. What will happen to me? Okay, let me go and I'll fire them and I'll take them to task and whatnot. They are enjoying. What happens to me? Before firing them, there is a fire within me. Suppose I decide to scold Rajini by like anything because he didn't manage the seminar well as I wanted him to, and I'll scold him in the evening. He is enjoying. What happens to me? I am getting disturbed first. So the secret is, whatever actions of my mind, body, speech which are going to hurt others will disturb me first. If I learn this much simple universal truth, please put that off. If I have learned this much of simple truth, what would I do? In my self-interest, I'll try to open the happiness shop. Have you ever seen the happiness shop anywhere across the globe? There are all the big shops, Walmart, Kmart, I don't know how many, Big Bazaar and whatnot. But have you ever come across happiness shop? Or do you wonder what is the happiness shop like? From where to get the inventories, who will give the loan, credit policy is so tight. So, simple thing is, my mind, body, speech, which is a natural asset with me, and it's my inner inclination at the level of my heart and my inner decision, that okay, whosoever comes across me from morning to evening, let me try to give some happiness to somebody. It does not necessarily mean that I shell out dollars from my pocket. I can just hear somebody in trouble, try to guide them. Somebody is in hospital and I may offer my services. Okay, I'm going that way. If you need anything to be delivered over there, I'll do that. Whatever small or big action is ultimately your attitude. And rest of the things will be done by nature. What is required is just our inclination and attitude. And if you have a shop of sweetmeats, would you be in shortage of sweetmeats anytime? If you have a grocery shop, will you be in shortage of groceries? No. If I have a happiness shop, I'll never be in shortage of happiness. So everybody said, all big visionaries, they experimented and they found out that what's the best way, best policy of living life is yoga, upiyogo, paropkara, use your mind, speech, body for others. Now here is a question. My modern scientific intellect is asking me why to do for others. I'm caring for myself. I have to live for myself. Why for others? And the scientific answer is, I am not doing for anybody else. There is no other in the world for me. Before obliging others, I am being obliged myself. Before helping others, I am being helped myself in terms of fulfillment, in terms of uplifting my spirit, in terms of making my aura positive. Even my chemistry would change and even my Kirlian photograph would change, and that positive energy will attract positive things towards me. So it's really, in worldly terms, I can say that I am obliging others. In natural, scientific terms, really I am doing to my own self. So, having known this, my resolve would be in the morning, first resolve, let my mind, body, speech not hurt any living being in the world, and let my mind, body, speech make one and all happy. But that's about the interactive happiness. And there are many visionaries who went in search of permanent happiness. So what does it add? What is the difference here? World is me only. I have already said that whatever actions of my mind, body, speech which are going to affect others positively or negatively will affect me first positively or negatively, and that way I am interconnected with the world. So world is me only and there is no other in the world. Now a relative happiness and real happiness. Relative happiness is one which is dependent on circumstances. There is a play of circumstances. As long as the circumstances are favorable, I will feel happy. As long as one of the circumstances becomes unfavorable, I become unhappy. Husband, wife, dealing with each other very nicely, caring, sharing. The house is heaven, world is heaven. Somebody's mood goes off, scolds, fires at somebody, doesn't resolve, and the home becomes hell. This is just a funny thing, but anyway. And suppose you are given everything you want. N number of money, good husband, good wife, good children, everything, prestige, name, fame. Now you look within. Are you content? Are you fulfilled with that? Something is still missing, something is still lacking. So this is the very nature of relative happiness. Suppose you go to a wedding ceremony of your very near and dear friend. Instead of one day, you are being treated very royally for 3 days. How long you enjoy? A couple of days? Then you get bored. So the very nature of relative happiness, it will make you happy for some time, then you need another thing. You will be happy with that, then you need the third thing. The thirst is not quenched. As against that, the real happiness is independent of circumstances. Your thirst for happiness is quenched. But when does it come? Only when you know who am I, the real happiness will start. So be on lookout to seek real happiness. Now let's go to another area of daily living, holistic visions for daily living. How many of you encounter clashes outside and within? Few. I noticed that in USA at least outside clashes are probably kept minimum.
No, that's
No?
not true.
Not true. Okay, the Americans say that's not. Anyway, what happens whenever I have a clash outside or within, for whatever reason? I lose my inner happiness, I lose my inner harmony, negativity creeps in, my mood goes off, it becomes low, and so many times I tell, okay, leave it aside. Let me become normal. I'll come to that later on. So it takes toll first on me. What's the solution? I should decide to avoid the clashes. No sooner I decide to avoid the clashes, my inner light, my inner vision will show me the way out, how to sail through without entering into clashes. Is it surrendership? Is it surrendering to the situation? No. It is resolving the situation with the inner understanding light, amicably and with equanimity. And here comes the another thing. Madhusudan Bhai Javeri pointed out that everybody has the viewpoints. And no sooner I try to emphasize that my viewpoint is right, I am right, not my viewpoint, I am right, the other person also enforces the same thing, I am also right. And the tie becomes strong. So I have to realize that everyone may be right by his or her own viewpoint. So I decide to resolve the situations amicably with equanimity. Then I come to my inner self. And within me also there will be many inner clashes. Why it happened to me? Why one is behaving with me only like this? I have been always giving a helping hand to him or her. Why I am being treated like this? And there may be so many inner issues which are unanswered, and if they remain unanswered, it leads to mental tension, and if the baggages become more, probably depression, anxiety, and visits to a psychiatrist. And holistic science visions will give you the answer to resolve your inner clashes or queries in all types of situations. I'll talk about cleansing process little later on, and forgive also in my next session in the afternoon. Of course, we don't want this thing to happen anytime, at least after having listened this, right? Even not behind closed doors. Now, having moved from avoiding clashes, I want to still have a better life. Now, what do you think? What's the biggest trouble in today's life? I remember that when I was a child, I had seen the days of scarcity. And sometimes it was difficult to say whether enough quota of grain was there at my home sometimes with a shortage of fees. But in today's time, we are not facing probably the problems of scarcity. Even our grandsons get, instead of one pair of shoes, 3 pairs of Bravo. So what we are facing is not because of scarcity. Then what are we facing today? Probably difficulty to adjust with each other. Right at home, right at workplace, right at wherever we go. There are 4 members in the family and there are 14 different views at the end of the day. And though we stay together at the heart, suppose I secretly ask all of you, would you like to change your partner? What's the answer? No answer. Don't give the answer. But most of them will come out sooner the better. Change is better. That shows difficulty of adjustment. And parents, children, very difficult to adjust. So he said in present time, to learn the master art of adjusting with everywhere, under all the situations, you will not only be happy in this worldly situation, but you will save to the liberation. Now the next question is how to adjust. I really want to adjust, but all the personalities are different. And we have marked that today if you observe your own family, your own home, somebody likes to speak less, the other is talkative. Now the talkative person says to the other person, please speak something, the home should be lively. And the other person says, why are you bluffing all the time? Please be quiet. And somebody likes to put the thermostat at 78 degrees Fahrenheit, the others have to wear the blanket. So these are the differences right away at our home. One child behaves differently, the other child is behaving differently. So here what is the vision which is being helpful? Family is a garden. You must have seen a farm as well as you must have gone to a garden. What is the difference between a farm and a garden? Can anybody tell me? In a farm everything is similar. If it is wheat, everything is wheat. If it is rice, everything is rice. If it is almond farm, everything is almond for miles together. In a garden, all different varieties are deliberately put together. One is white rose, another is pink rose, jasmine, orchid, blueberry, strawberry, whatnot. But does any plant tell to the other plant, why don't you have a flower or a fruit like me? Does rose tell to the mango, why don't you have a beautiful flower with a fragrance? And does mango tell to the rose, why don't you have a beautiful fruit like me? And do we ever go and complain to the rose plant that why do you have a thorn? And if we complain, what will happen? But in human psychology, we believe and we expect that the others should be like me according to my expectations. If I am rose, I expect others to be rose. Here, the thing is different. If I have this vision, every human personality is like a different tree or a plant in a garden, but none without a fruit or a flower. Know what are one's fruits or flowers in terms of positive abilities or virtues. Make use of them. Never complain what one doesn't know. So this gives me ability or vision. If I put it into practice, I change just one filter. I change just one vision of doing the experiment, and you will observe the results of the experiment altogether different for your life, within and outside. I will be able to adjust under all circumstances with different personalities and also with circumstances. Now let's come to our own home. And everybody wishes, including myself, that it should be a heaven on earth. Don't you believe that, or don't you wish or aspire for that?
Yes.
Okay. So, win your own home, the world need not be conquered. What do I mean by winning my own home? Win the hearts of each member. Husband, wife. There should be a best friends friendly relation. But is it always true in reality? Two eyes may remain separate. They may marry, become one, but my eyes and my wife's eyes do remain separate. Fine. As long as one eye is caring, sharing, loving to the other eye, the situation is win-win. But when one eye tries to win over the other eye, the show starts. So please be careful about that eye. So use the word we and ours and not I and you or mine and yours. And there are a lot of karmic bonds, chemistry as we were already told, but chemistry, beyond chemistry there are karmic bonds. So I am here to reduce or resolve my karmic bonds and not to create many more. And divine process of cleansing I will take in the afternoon session to resolve any ties or resolve any clashes. Parents, children, another taste. I think many of you will be parents here. How to handle our kids. It's a big issue in everywhere and probably more pertinent in USA. because this is a country of liberty. We can't tell anything to our children, and if we call, they might call 911. What they call. So it's said that the duty of and responsibility of parents is probably more than even the president of the trades. Responsibility in terms of overall upbringing, not only academic but moral, ethical, social, physical, and overall upbringing. And please handle glass with care, because mind of children are like glass. If it gets broken, it becomes difficult. Children do seek love, but what is the language of love? We do love our children, but there is little bit difference between what we love and what the enlightened ones see the love as it is. The love has to be free of expectations and conditions. It has to be free of waxing and waning. Then only it is said to be true love, without expectations and conditions. And they learn what they see. They do not learn what we tell them to learn. They learn what they see. So please mind your behavior with each other, because they are always looking at you and they are always looking at the environment. So provide them the environment which is good for them to learn and what you want that they should be. And of course, if I am a child, I have my duties towards my parents. It is very, very inhuman if I leave my parents alone and I have my own life and you take care of yourself. I think to me it is criminal. Loneliness. This is a big word as we have been moving all across different areas. People say there is everything available, but we feel lonely within. We feel empty at heart. What's the remedy? Why one feels lonely? And solution with me is, if I start loving everyone, seeing as me only, no matter whether others reciprocate or do not reciprocate, my heart is always full. This is the path enlightened ones have taken. They start loving each other as if the whole world is their family, unconditionally with universal love. And this is what the Vedants also have professed. But the science behind that is, because wherever I go, I feel I am there. My heart is always full. That leads me to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And at no moment I will be lonely, even if my children are with me or not with me. The whole world is with me. World is our own echo, as I have already said. People believe that if I say, Rajni bhai, you are a nice person, there will be an echo, you are a very good person. True. But that echo is secondary. Even before that, there is inner echo for me, that no sooner I decide to tell Rajni bhai, you are nice, my heart becomes full and my face becomes smiling. So inner echo of inner actions of mind, speech, body, which is affecting me, is first word, and then the outer echo comes. Whatever was lent comes back, and the postman delivers 4 posts at our home. One is dividend, one is somebody's marriage invitation, one is somebody's death intimation, and one is traffic police's ticket. What is the fault of postman? Two are pleasurable, two are painful. Do we bark at postman anytime? No, because we believe that his instrument, he is a delivery man, sender is somebody else. Similarly, in the grand scheme of nature, whosoever meets me, somebody to give me pleasurable or favorable help or out behavior, somebody unfavorable, they are no more than postmen in the grand scheme of nature, and it's my own accounts and accountability, because atoms and molecules which I have brought with me, chemistry or biology or whatever, that attracts the instruments from nature. Beliefs and psychological effects. How many of you have ever thought that really, are we driving life or we are being driven by our beliefs? It never occurred to me till very late when I started observing myself, oh, am I driving everything or whether I'm being driven by beliefs? And we have beliefs. All the effects and experiences of life are as per beliefs. When I came 94 first time, we were given this dress. In our part of the world, this was considered a bias. And people started looking at us, and we also were asking them, how do you feel? Somebody said, it looks funny. Somebody says, it looks comfortable. And everybody was answering differently because their beliefs were different. And we started looking at the people over here, and we also had different experiences because our beliefs were different. So likewise, in all areas, we have a different belief. So life is a bundle of beliefs and psychological effects. Beware of the beliefs which are making you unhappy, which are leading to negativity. Please beware. If you can change them, Circumstances may not change, but your experience and energy and transformation, everything can be changed by just the change of beliefs. And ownership belief. Suppose I receive a phone call that such and such house of yours is in fire. And instead of being sad, I am just smiling. And Rajini Bhai is asking me, why? Your house, you are receiving a phone call that such and such house of yours is in fire. I say, oh, I sold it before. It's no more mine. So with few papers, my mindless belief has gone. So this is the subtle area where the enlightened ones want to lead us, that, and the belief about state of being is the ultimate for everything which will come later on. So just I wanted to make you aware of the beliefs being harbored. If you have spare time, please try to draw the graph of beliefs within you and try to see the effects, positive or negative. Positive visions. Do circumstances make me happy or unhappy? No. It's vision of looking at the circumstances which is really making me happy or unhappy. Let's take some few examples. No one loves difficulty in life. Everybody feels that, oh, I'm stranded and I'm so and so. But really speaking, difficulties in life give me the opportunity to explore my inner self, my inner abilities to overcome that. It leads me to maturity. It leads me to my inner development. And whether I like it or don't like it, I'm going to have it. Sometimes it serves as a speed breakers. If there are no speed signals, my car may be going at any speed and it might dash. Somebody tells me bad words or criticizes me. Somebody may criticize me, oh, you didn't play it well and you should not have done like this and that. My normal human reaction will be, oh, you don't understand anything and you don't have vision or whatnot. And that will lead me to inner suffering and unhappiness. But if I have a vision, okay, let me go back, step back, see within, where can I improve? And more than that, if I take it with understanding, he is losing energy in terms of chemistry and I am gaining energy. And he is washing my egoism and keeping it normal. So I should be thankful to him that he has kept my egoism normal, he has given me the opportunity to develop and he has passed his energy to me. So Lord Mahavir always used to teach his disciples, don't look at what you have lost, but look at what is left out with you. And if you can change, see what is left us with us rather than what is lost, I think it goes a long way. There are many examples, but in best interest of time, I'm just leading you to some glimpses in different areas. Now, coming to another part of a live experiment, we have seen one part, understanding or vision. Now we go to second part. What is in my realm and what is not? As when I'm doing the experiment, as I am being the experimenter, there are two types. Mostly I am experimenting with the belief that I am name bearer, I am Shailesh and I am doer of the things. So, am I independent doer? Now let's see few situations. If I can do a nice surgery, patient praises me, I believe, oh, I did a nice surgery. But when there is some complication and either somebody sues me or criticizes me, what do? Oh, I tried my best, your body's immunology was not responding well and this went wrong and that went wrong. So then I try to blame on others. A company CEO, when company makes a good profit, so I run the company very nicely. But when something goes wrong then, oh, the colleagues did not do well, the economy was bad and whatnot. So we don't know what is really playing role. Suppose if we are asked that all of us here are together, were we totally independent to come here? So many of other people would have rang, we were all set to go, but something came up at home, car went wrong, somebody fell sick and we could not come. So for each happening, so many circumstantial evidences have to come together in a favorable sequence for that particular thing to happen. Are all these circumstances under our total control? Probably not. So enlightened ones say that the happenings are based or dependent on scientific circumstantial evidences. We go to sleep having a nice meal. Who runs all the body machineries? Who keeps on heart beating and who does all the jobs of digestion and excretion? Are we doer there? We are sleeping nicely. Let's go inside and search. Am I independent about my mind? What do you think? All of you, are you independent about your mind?
No.
Nobody says yes or no. Partly yes, partly no. So when it goes haywire, weird, when it starts showing me unwanted thoughts, there is no pause switch and no stop switch. Speech. So many times I speak as what I desire and I have decided. But sometimes it happens that something else comes out. Body. If I would have been independent about body, there would have been no doctors and no need for doctors like us. So enlightened ones say that this is, life has two parts. One is the part of happenings based on scientific circumstantial evidences where I am not independent. But then my next question is, where is my independence? Where can I do my purushar or free will efforts? And that's another part of decision. Okay, I'll take just 2-3 slides and end it. I know that. So another is a part of decision, projection or a bhav, which is independent of circumstances, and it is guided and it is dependent on my understanding, my vision or my belief, wherein I can exercise my free will. How our projections or bhav work? Suppose we all 60, 70 or 80 people sitting here, when we walk out at the end of the day, do you think everybody's inner decision or projection or bhav would be same? No. Somebody would have bhav, oh, this was beautiful, I must learn and experience thoroughly. Somebody would say, no, it was just time pass. Somebody would say, no, I will not come again. So though the actions are same, happenings are same, inside decisions or projections would be different. Now how my projections or bhav work in the scheme of nature? I'll give you a humorous example. Suppose at the age of 12, 13, 14, I decided to have one wife and the counterpart decides to have one husband. Then I put some more codes inside. She should be beautiful. No. It is all right if she can be less beautiful, but she should be educated so she can do the job in US at least and support me in earning. Or she should be from a rich family, whatever. Now that is within me. Once I sign the contract, okay, let it be like this. Once my eye signs it, it becomes a contract within and it acts as a fed data to the natural regulatory system, which is like a vast cosmic computerized system. It's not only analogy, it's exact scientific process, because in presence of pure conscious, when the inner decisions or projections are happening and when my eye signs it, agrees or disagrees it, the atoms or molecules from outside are being dragged in and they become charged or imprinted with those particular bhavs or decisions, positive or negative. So they get stored inside on different areas of pure conscious as if they are being stored in the inner computer hard drive or soft drive. And they are linked to the vast cosmic computerized system. Here it is cause is happening. Now what does the natural system does? It has the function of giving the results. Now natural system tells me, wait, time is not right. All the evidences has to come together scientifically, time, place, instruments, instrumentality. So at 22, 23, 24, nature starts giving me the result and gives me Y. But it becomes scientific. So I had asked only for Y. Nature says, no, the result will be scientific. You cannot be given only Y. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, everything has to come together. So the result occurs like this. I had projected only one thing, I want to become something like a doctor. I never knew which will be my college, who will be my professors, who will be my future patient, who will be my staff. Nature provided me everything just by my one consistent projection. So having known this, living as I am name bearer and I am doer, only relative independence is in part of bhav or decision or projection. And when we say fate and free will, fate I do not mean to say that it is decided outcome. Fate means dependency on circumstances, where I am instrumental doer and not independent doer, and relative free will is the part where I am independent of circumstances and based on my understanding I can project or decide or have the bhavs. In Gita, Krishna Bhagavan said the slok, Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, but people could not understand what does this mean. People understood karma as if I am going to my clinic punctual at 9:30, that is my adhikar or independence. But why, if I am independent to go, why sometimes it happens that I am delayed because of delayed surgery somewhere or some traffic conditions. So karma is happening inside in the form of seed which is not being seen by others, and the karma fall and the secondary effects are what all is happening in the world. So Dani Purush said that all the happenings in the world are nothing but fruits, and the karmas are happening inside where you can exercise your independence And we have already seen charge discharge in the natural regulatory system, which is the organized or orderly system. Now the wisdom pulse, only last 2 slides for this session. How to use this knowledge? This was the knowledge. How to translate into my practical living? Should I sit with the crossed hands? No. Doing only bhav? No. In happenings, drive the car with open eyes. Do your best with care, caution, and best of your ability, and then leave rest to nature. If you have done all your best, then the result comes. Now we suffer after events. No, I should not have done this. It should have gone this way and that way. That's where we are incurring double loss. So I should try my best. Once the happening has happened, I should tell that whatever has happened is just incorrect. I will not touch up this part, and I will take in other sessions how best I can use my relative free will. So I take the interval of my first session over here and keep on pondering what is to come next. We'll take it in some other sessions which are to follow, and I'll continue from here there on. Okay?
No, we have 5 minutes. I can.
Improve others without really looking at my own self.
So how should I improve? Just letters do.
That's the whole day we are going there only. With several visions, we are just going through that process only. How should I improve my wrong beliefs to right beliefs, incorrect understandings to correct understandings in eyes of absolute ones or holistic scientists who have experienced that, and we can experience the same thing. The science is which is replicable, and others can have the same results following the same thing. Because thousands of people are able to experience those results, I say this is a holistic neuroscience.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mehta. This was, I hope you enjoyed the session, and also I hope you have a question. Again, you know,
in your talk, you talk about that everyone is in pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
And that's an assumption. But is that a valid assumption that we all, in the holistic science, that we are actually looking for happiness?
No, I agree to you, it is a subjective term. But somewhere we have to start, right? And if not happiness, let me ask you what you are looking for, or what everybody may be looking for.
I just want to be.
I agree to you. But that's a state. That's also why you want to be. For what? Please.
Thank you for the nice presentation. Ready? Thank you. My question is, you said that our actions are basically guided by the beliefs we have. The problem is, where do we start? Because the belief that we get into is because of my past belief. So where is the end of this cycle?
Very good question. I'll first answer this question and then come to you. So I agree that I just want to be. But that notion, that concept, that experience, that desire to be also has come from experiencing all other things that, okay, so far I was experiencing, believing relative happiness and finding, and now I find that, okay, this is not leading me to the ultimate, so let me be with myself to be. And that's the end point. Because whatever you term is, what does it give to be? Bliss? Something? What does it give? Any state of being is associated with some experience. So for that particular experience, I want to be. So whatever name you give, because in real happiness, I did say that I have to use some subjective word. Otherwise, I also am in the process of only to be. When I am talking with you, I am also inside only to be. But why I want to be? Because I realize that as long as my eye dwells in a relativity and duality planes, it is giving me 2 types of dual experiences. And when I remain as a knower and seer, and this is performing the actions, it gives me non-dual bliss, or non-dual, whatever you say, happiness. So, not going by words, if I can say that everybody wants to be in a place where one finds an ultimately eternal, non-changing happiness or non-changing bliss, whatever you say. And coming to that second question, I very much appreciate that. I agree that I am being driven. And sometimes even before my thought and really the decision process and comes up within, and people say discretionary power and everything is there. I cannot put everything in a very short time, but sometimes before everything happens, I just react rather than respond. But when I realized that whether this belief and this reaction has led me to happy, harmonious, positive, meaningful living experience within, or has it led me to puzzles, clashes, and disturbances? If I realize that, okay, it's not fetching me to what I want, then, okay, let me look at what others have said or what others have experienced. Let me try with that. So long as I was living the life that I am correct, why not to harp on that? I was entering into clashes. Now let me experiment with this belief that every month may be right in his or her own viewpoint, and let me try pivot classes. So I should experience. The holistic scientist never says or asks you do that or don't do that. No, they just expose the science and effects of the science. You choose it your way. So if I change the belief and if it fetches me what I want, I would say it is a correct belief. Okay? So that is why I said the life is a continuous ongoing experiment. I'm continuously experimenting with the things, inner self and outer self, and inner self being the first basic thing with me to react, to experience the outer world. Please.
Okay, we'll take last question. Afternoon, there's a lot of other questions.
And we are free in the lunch hours, and if you wish, we can be at your disposal till midnight or till whatever time, or we can come back also, if you wish to.
I just have a simple question I missed. And you said Karmandevadikalasne Mahapadesu Pradachan is, yeah, they could be, people will be thinking about only outwardly things like going to their office and doing surgery. But then I missed, you said that it's really going on inside? What is that?
Yeah, so my saying was, see, when I discussed what is in my realm and what is not, and I went ahead that Krishna himself said that yantravat sarva bhutani, means the human beings are behaving like a machine. Oh my God, how can you see us a machine? We have independent decision power, we have independent thinking power, unlimited mind, unlimited intellect, my ego. Why Krishna said was, because my mind, body, speech, inner prakriti traits, sattvic, rajasic or tamasic, which I have brought with me as a result of previous beliefs, previous opinions, previous prejudices, and inner and outer circumstances, they are now not totally under my independent control, or they are driving me. So this whole section, part of happenings which has inner component of prakriti, mind, speech, body, and outer circumstances along with the natural regulatory system, is a part where I am not totally independent. And if we go by Karmandeva Adhikara state, Adhikara means independence, my will. So why it doesn't happen that I can think as what I want to think like? Why can I not speak which I really want to speak like? Why sometimes it goes other way around? So because this is a result of previous beliefs or previous opinions, and results or effects or fruits may or may not be changeable soon. But the karma in the form of seed, karma has two parts. One is seed, cause or charge. Another is fruit, effect or result. Scientifically and logically, can I change the effect, fruit or result, or can I change the seed, cause or charge? So the charge or seed is happening at the subtlemost part, at the level of my being, as he says. Where am I living as my being? Am I living as I am Shailesh, I am doer? Then I will have to be engaging or disengaging in some subtler things, which I say as bhavs or projections or decisions, positive or negative, where I am laying down new causes, I am building my new prakriti. And right now I am disposing my older prakriti. And that is the very subtle science, because Duryodhan came out and said, he was also equally smart fellow. Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti, janami adharmam nachame nivrutti. I know what to be done, but I cannot do it. I know what should not be done, but I cannot live it. And the answer lies here that I may not be able to change my personality trait very soon. Of course, this is a partially true statement. Don't take it literally. But I can readily change my inner understanding, based on which my inner decisions or projections will change. And today, if my understanding, inner decision and projection is changed, tomorrow my behavior is going to result. So the almost all preachers, teachers and everybody is trying to change the behavior. Holistic scientists say we do not force or ask you to change your behavior forcibly, but this science changes your inner understanding or beliefs or visions, which will automatically result into the change of behavior, and this is very easy, simple, scientific way, and we'll expound onto that in other sessions. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
And that's the very reason, even though he was all omniscient, omnipotent from within, he was there, but he could not prevent Yadvasthali, or for that matter, Mahabharat war. So that was the part where his adhikar was not there. It was a karma phala part, and his karma part, his voluntary part was within, which he taught to Arjuna. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This was very good.